A good poetry anthology should, I believe, have a balance between thematic coherence on the one hand and variety of style, origin, and viewpoint on the other. Mingled Voices 9 more than passes this simple test. If not all poets followed the optional suggested topic of together, it certainly emerges as a key theme in the form of family and cultural bonds, along with the themes of loss and memory that might be considered a kind of extension of, and partial antithesis to, the theme of togetherness. As in previous years, the state of the environment remains an important topic for many of the poets. In the winning poem by Zhou Fei, The Poet's Lover, the stunning imagery and often startling language evoke an unlikely togetherness. One night in early July, travelling on Saturn, you returned to your cliffside hotel and saw a tear-stained face in the mirror, like pear blossoms after the rain. This is your lover. There is a sense of bewildering disorder in the poem that makes one think of The Wasteland by T.S. Eliot. Yet it ends, despite the starkness of the line, as your coffin rattles along the gravel path, with the affirmation, she is your lover. An Unmarked Grave by William Leo Coakley is also the site for tension between absence and presence, or togetherness and separation. In a poem that has conscious echoes of the Roman poet Catullus's poem about his brother's death, Catullus 101, the person mourned, an American poet, lies in a distant grave, and is visited by Coakley after a journey of so many miles. Death is the ultimate separation, but the visit to the grave brings one fleeting moment of togetherness. I alone, the young one, old but alive, come to bid you our last farewell. At the other end of life, Neil Douglas's Forever Family laments the frustrated motherhood of a woman unable to resist the cycle of neglect and abuse that is working its way through her life, leading to a tragic separation. Not able, not ever to give love of a mother to her baby, who's passed to the arms of another. The dysfunctional family inheritance that Douglas writes about is part of the disarray of the world, which poets have bemoaned for centuries. Terry Miller also does this in We Together, but strives for a tone of hope. What harmony we could create, we together. Fighting unjust and hateful wars, the poet suggests, is an avoidable destiny if we show the right degree of solidarity or collective action. It is a fate we could allay, we together. A little like the loss that Coakley faced, Candice Delaveau-Turnquist is facing the undocumented breakdown of togetherness in a lost love, itself perhaps a kind of unmarked grave. But unlike a death, there's no obituary chronicling our moments of bliss. The poem finishes, though, in a beautifully poised way. Each morning sunrise provides a quiet chance to move on, followed by sunsets offering darkness, where I fall apart in the shadows. The rising and setting sun gives us further echoes of Catullus, who wrote one of the most celebrated love poems of all time, Catullus 5, which has the lines, in Ben Jonson's version, "Suns that set may rise again, but if once we lose this light, 'tis with us perpetual night." Nature here is seen as constant, endless, and indifferent to human life's fleeting passage. In The Wound in Gravel by Vinita Agrawal, the poet also suffers from the sunset. After sunset, the night grows white with pain, and she finds little relief or protection in nature. The austere banyan hides its leaves in a tired, dark cloak. Beneath the leaves my aches unfold. How can I protect myself from goodbyes? The tables turn, in a sense, in other poems where human impact on the environment threatening the steady procession of our natural world is on the mind of several of the poets. In The Take by Vanessa Page, the poet observes the people fishing on Galata Bridge in Istanbul, where the fishermen start before dawn, as the choke of fish kills and diesel fumes build. The poet switches from third-person singular to first-person plural to include us all, as tourists, as consumers of the world's limited resources, as we deplete nature with our everyday actions. This ancient city braces under the teeming weight of it, as we all continue to take the photographs, and we all continue to take the fish. Joy Al-Sofi develops this theme in another direction, with the backdrop of a human world that may cite natural processes deceitfully, as in the phrase where there's a promise to keep an agreement while the grasses shall grow and waters flow. This was language used in an 1867 treaty between the US government and the Sisseton and Wapeton bands of the Sioux, aiming to establish peace and define territory for these bands. The treaty would soon be violated by the government. In contrast, the poet looks to the promises made by nature that are true and do last as long as the midnight sun still glows. Finally, though, Wesley D. Sims brings the environment and togetherness and separation all together in 15 ways of looking at the ocean. Here the ocean is seen playfully, world's largest, most visited aquarium. It's also seen ominously as mankind's gargantuan garbage dump. And finally, it is a deeply personal place of togetherness and separation. Last place we vacationed before my love changed course and sailed away. The great American poet Stanley Kunitz once wrote in his collected poems 2000, "Years ago I came to the realization that the most poignant of all lyric tension stems from the awareness that we are living and dying at once." In this rich and varied anthology, I believe that many of the poems achieve the kind of lyric tension that Kunitz was striving for. I hope you will enjoy finding it here for yourself.